Welcome back, guys, to a brand new video. Today's gonna be a little different. I do have an Albino Bristlenose Pleco, which is what this video is gonna be about, but it's pretty hard to get shots of him. He's always hiding in the cave, or he's under the wood. He's always doing something. So I'm just gonna have a different random video clips I can find on the internet and pictures of Albino Bristlenose Plecos. And without further ado, let's get into the video. If you don't know what an Albino Bristlenose Pleco is, it's that. Plecos are normally called, the suckerfish, the algae eaters. That's what the average person is going to call them. And they normally get what is called a common pleco. And these get very big. They can get up to 2 feet long. So, the Albino Bristlenose Pleco, or another Bristlenose Pleco, is a very good alternative for people who want a pleco, but don't have the size to house, a 1.5 foot long pleco. So they get maximum, I would say, around 5 inches. From what I understand, I think the males can get a bit more thick, like wide, than the females. I do have a female, and how you can tell is the females won't have bristles on their face, or whatever you want to call it, and the males will have lots of bristles. I'm not saying they won't have any bristles, but the males will have a more amount, and you'll be able to tell the difference. The tank size that I would keep them, you could do 20 gallon. You could do a 20 gallon, but you would want to keep up on the water changes because plecos do poop a lot. They produce a lot of waste. So if you're going to put them in a 20 gallon, make sure you're doing lots of water changes. I would say at least 25 to 35% once a week, depending on how many fish you have in the tank. Other than that, I would prefer like a 30 gallon tank would be a better choice if you can. For the temperature, they can usually go anywhere from about 70 to about, I wouldn't do more than 84, 85, something like that, and that's on the high end. Of course you want to do a median. Mine is housed at 76 degrees, and she seems to enjoy that. For the pH, they would prefer probably anywhere from a 6.5 to a 7.5, so that's a pretty neutral almost pH. Now, my pH is a little bit higher. My pH is probably like 7.8, and with all fish, they will prefer a consistent pH over that exact number. Meaning, if you have a pH of 7.6, it's fine, okay? They will be fine with not having the 7.5 pH, as long as it's not like 8.5, 9, something crazy, or like 5, just something really crazy high or crazy low. It is fine with the pH you have. For the KH, anywhere from 6 to 10 is pretty good for them. The diet, they are omnivores for the most part. So generally I feed them the algae wafers. He eats driftwood, or she eats driftwood. And I will of course see her, that's why I let the algae grow on my tank. It is just, there's so much algae. She eats the algae. I see her occasionally eating it. I want her to have the options. I have seen her eat bloodworms before. I feed my tank bloodworms sometimes because there's other fish in there as well, and they like them. So I have seen them eat bloodworms, but I'm not 100% sure if that's healthy for them or if it's bad for them. So go at your own risk with what you feed them. Besides feeding them, algae wafers is what my pleco loves. As soon as I drop the algae wafers in, they go right to it, or she goes right to it and starts sucking on them. Another thing that you're going to want to feed any plecos of all types, about once a week, or every other week, whenever you want to do it. It's good to feed green beans, zucchini, peas. You will have to blanch and skin peas, and you have to blanch the zucchini and the green beans. But it's good to give them a fresh vegetable diet. And even lettuce would be a good option for them to eat as well. But you got to make sure and they have a well-rounded diet of all these things so they don't get backed up and bloated. Especially peas are good for that. How they act with other fish, I've seen personally, they don't really do much with the other fish. They kind of just do their own little thing. Unless you have more than one in a tank together, then if they're the opposite sex, then they're gonna breed and stuff. And you want to make sure you have a cave. Even though I only have one, I do have the pleco cave for my pleco. I think I might have said this before, but the average size for these is gonna be anywhere from 4 to 5 inches. Now, of course, You can get that rarity if it's going to be like 6 inches, but that can happen with any fish. But that is going to be it for this video. I hope you guys did enjoy it, and if you're thinking about getting a pleco of any type and you do not have a large tank to hold the common pleco, which is the one you're going to find the most of, I would highly recommend going with an albino bristlenose pleco because they're easier to find than a regular bristlenose pleco, at least from what I've understand. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're new, drop a like and a comment down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.